Oh, help the old man up on stage. You know, it takes a temperature of 25 degrees Fahrenheit to freeze wine. The refrigerator in my hotel room has gone insane. But if the refrigerator can do this, what would happen if I put something in the freezer?
Oh no!
It would turn to ice, you're a Tamers. What the shit?
Okay, not only would it turn to ice, but it would be like permafrost. I could put a mammoth in there. I think there's supposed to be more.
It's ice and salt instead of it, and it's like turns into
Ice is supposed to
sounds right.
I didn't
Ladies and gentlemen!
And others.
And others! Welcome to my comedy better when I've had a few!
What's new?
I'd like to introduce our panelists. It's my great honor to introduce from the right side, which may be my right side because we pre-gamed. Ladies and gentlemen, Uncle Kage! You may recognize him from that set of glowing eyes in your room last night. Ladies and gentlemen, Boozy Badger! Standing outside the room listening, my name is Alkali. Guys, thank you for joining us tonight. I love that.
Thank you all. Good night.
That made me so...
How was that?
Your cane is murder this weekend.
It comes to life at night. Ask him.
That wasn't the cane.
I saw him first.
Actually, I saw him.
Shit!
I saw him on Twitter first.
Just because you were sober when we both saw him doesn't mean you saw him first. It means I saw him blurry.
Okay, it sounds like we're talking about a Bigfoot scene. Well, he is from Kentucky.
And he's drunk enough to be shaky on camera.
This is not thawing.
Did you get so drunk you became blurry?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's how it works. When you guys get blurry, you've had enough.
Enough is never enough.
I'm starting to see your problems, Uncle Kage.
Well, this thing that we're doing, we call this I Comedy Better When I've Had a Few, and I notice I'm ready, and I notice Alkali is ready. Mr. Badger, you seem to be lacking something.
Hey, sweetie,
Yes?
could you please get off Twitter and grab me the booze?
Isn't Witted Bliss wonderful? That was, okay, that was almost Kentucky. Hey woman, give me a beer. I mean, it's close to that, right?
Hey, woman, give me a beer.
Oh my God, did you hear what she whispered to that microphone pick it up? I own you. And that was it.
Wait a minute. What is that?
So what?
In the glass, what is that?
It is homeopathic alcohol.
I got nothing. Yeah.
I have absolutely nothing to say to that. It was brilliant.
So we call it I Comedy Better When I've Had a Few, because for the three of us, that is a fairly accurate statement.
Yes.
So this is not scripted. This is not rehearsed. This is not
okay.
Good.
We don't even know what the hell it is. We just kind of get up here and do.
Can we please have that be the description in the Anthrocon handbook? I comedy better when I've had a few. It's not okay.
Someone write that down for me, please.
This is the weekend for panel titles. So far, we've come up with a comedy better than what I've had of you, It's Not Okay, and Sad Fireworks. We had a drinking panel, and we called it Sad Fireworks, because by the end, we were like, oh, we are all alcoholics. And Dragor, out of absolutely nowhere, looks forlorn and goes, Sad Fireworks. So next year, when you guys see Sad Fireworks in the con book, it's a drinking panel. We're hiding it in our crippling depression. Thank you for the huzzah after crippling depression.
I say, this isn't making me feel any better.
It is making me feel drunker.
Why are you drinking out of my glass?
I am not drinking out of your glass. There are 2 boxes that the charity is holding. One of them says they will name a cat after Alkali. One of them says they will name a cat after their Uncle Kage. And I figured if I confuse the charity enough, I'm hedging my bet.
Oh,
Where's the box to name you after Uncle Kage?
I believe there is already a performer known as Oldie Hawn. Hey, you have to admit, that was good.
it's a shame that we've got that second-hand stage at Anthrocon, the one that falls apart and performers fall through into the river and they're never seen again.
I don't know if that was a threat or a fat joke.
Talk dirty to me, baby.
I absolutely adore myself and Kage will sit up here making jokes about our confessions. And we look out into the audience, and there's all these smiling faces, and there's Boozy Barrister in the front row going, you are so sued. Or fact-checking us.
Well, it is really great to be friends with a legal professional. I visited this nice man's house. Well, actually, I kind of invited myself to this nice man's house. And I had dinner with his family, and it's wonderful because QM, it says to the little girl, it says, you need to eat your peas. And she says, well, in Michelson versus people in Pennsylvania, I don't have this.
That's right!
You know, the best part of you visiting my house is probably the next morning.
You remember that?
I had come down, and he's in the kitchen, and he goes, oh, did you sleep okay? And I said, I got a bit of a hangover, and the crawdad got out last night. Would you like some coffee?
I'm going through my mind thinking, okay, I'm half Southern myself. I know the language. What is he referring to about the crawdad got out? Is this a reference to the hangover? Is this a sex joke? So I looked at him and I said, the crawdad got out?
Wait, is this a sex joke?
Yes.
Crawdad is a euphemism for penis?
Dude, you're from Kentucky.
What type of dicks are you used to? They have claws.
Wouldn't you like to know?
Discipline me, crawdaddy.
Good night, everybody.
Wait for that.
You say that in the microphone.
Oh, snip, snip.
And that is how Judaism was formed.
That's funny because we're walking on stage and he goes, it's I comedy better when I had a few. And I sit next to Alkaline and I'm thinking, we comedy better when we have a Jew.
I'm like a cursed magic item, +1 to stage presence, but I come to your house and drink your shit. I mean booze. Don't be literal.
There is a drop down on fur.
No! You go to a very weird fur event. It's the normal one. God damn it.
That's when you click your little SFW at the beginning of it. Well, the truth is, that's what he said. The crawdad got out. And I said, do what now? Apparently, his daughter has a little, I don't want to say pet, crayfish.
Oh, no, it's a pet.
A pet crayfish.
It's a pet. She made me promise I wouldn't make gumbo with it, so it's a pet now.
Well, apparently, I guess she felt that it needed more exercise, so she gave it a little ladder it could climb up and down, and it got out. And, well, would you like to describe how this fact was brought to your attention, Mr. Barrister?
This fact came to my attention when my wife literally turned our bed upside down at 3 in the morning while I was in it, yelling, "Don't move, the crawfish is loose."
This is odd foreplay, you know.
Quotation marks, I love you.
My first wonder was, if you didn't want me to move, why did you literally throw me out of bed? My second thought is, I sleep nude? And she had literally just thrown me on the floor with something with claws that was running around our room. Lakaya, motherfucker.
I'm just picturing the crawfish with a yarmulke and these little...
Have circumcision, have circumcision.
That's the crawfish's name, Georgie Jessel. Somebody knows that.
Holy shit.
Now, please remind me of what you need. Exorcism or circumcision?
Or both. Half price special.
Yeah, your dick
Ooh,
is
why not both?
Oh, God.
Exercise.
You're just how could you tell I can't pea soup? Then it turned around 3 times.
Is everybody else getting excited by this?
I should probably ask at this point, what's the age on this panel?
Oh, fuck it.
15 plus! Does anyone here know why 15 plus is a thing?
I'm sorry, Tim.
It's on stage.
This mother and her child, they pulled me from the bar to give this to you.
Oh! Well, how very nice.
She's not a child, she's 15, but you know, she's...
Oh, good, 15 plus!
That makes me feel better
to know that I'm telling jokes about.
No, this is not garbage. It will be great wine once it calls. Well, anyway, I was at the bar, and she came up and said that you made a comment that the wine is not optimal to what you like. And so she was buying you this for her wonderful daughter's request, so I was pulled since I've been talking about you for the last few hours, and she was like, you need to deliver this to him, and I was like, I don't know if this is a good idea, but okay, I'll do it.
Is that cyanide and happiness?
Yes. Yes!
Awesome.
I wear this any parade that is at any con. Also, I'm in front of a crowd of people. Hello!
I love you.
Thank you very, very much. I am pleased and honored. I shall consume it happily.
What's up?
Let's give it up for the handler!
I'll get off.
You'll go down there and tell her to give me a number.
I'm here now.
So this is actually Dr. Lawson Riesling, the Mosel Valley 2016, provided by 7-Eleven. It is a sweetie. And I'm still fascinated by the fact that the son of a bitch is not melting. It's like cryogenically preserved. It's like Walt Disney's wine.
It was from 2016, so America was still great.
So yesterday, this genius gentleman over here, this king of the furry fandom, came up to me, leans in with his frozen bottle of wine and a straw, and he goes, "Alkaline. Remember, alcohol has a higher freezing point, but water doesn't," and then went... And it took me a second to realize why, as he was drinking, his eyes slowly got more squinty. Kage?
Oh, no, that was because Ronnie... never mind.
No!
Damn it.
I didn't say that. I didn't finish it.
You didn't finish the sentence. Is
No.
that what counts now?
Yes. Yes, I didn't Okay. Mr. Barrister, the fact that I did not finish the sentence, does that spare me from any liability?
You leave me out of this.
You are either going to get kicked out of the furry fandom or get a seat on the Supreme Court, and I don't know which.
Well, it's easy to get a seat on the Supreme Court. Anybody?
Both are good.
I didn't finish it, it's okay.
We got him.
I think we did. Got it. 2 points.
20.
I'm on the board.
2 points.
We're up on the board.
Cheers to the Badger.
2018 sucks ass.
We're going to take this one moment to say this. We're up here joking, guys, and it's more important to do one thing more than anything else. In a few weeks, don't forget, I don't care who it's for, vote. It is our duty to vote, and I legitimately do not care who it's for, because if we don't have a voice out there as furries, as people, then we are more screwed up than we're joking about up here. Please vote. Please vote.
And if you're one of those people whose vote has been suppressed by one mechanism or another, I am in no way, shape, or form going to advocate for armed insurrection.
Well, cool. I got political cheese balls.
Cheese balls?
Oh yes, yes, they apparently are Republicans. Do not touch any fursuiters now.
This is how politics works. You get your hands covered in cheese and touch a furry.
You need trouble. Whoa.
What? No, never mind.
Cheese balls.
Do not repeat that.
I need cheese balls.
Yeah.
What? Oh, I thought you said...
Now he only has 2.
I thought you said someone under the table. Like,
This panel has gone dark. He's after you.
I just want to let you. This is why I love this band so much. I am on I stream on Twitch on Sundays. The kids join me a lot of time.
I love the
It's better than my daughter looking at me while I'm playing an adventure game and saying to 100 people, "My daddy's about to die." So we're streaming on Twitch, and it was right after we got the crawfish, and my sweet little 10-year-old daughter is sitting there, and she's talking about the crawfish, and of course, as this happens, when you're a parent, your kid gets really interested in one topic, you hear about that topic constantly. And you learn how to tune it out, glaze your eyes over and go, that's nice. Oh really? I didn't know that. Any more. She's reading the chat, and as she's talking about the crawfish, the chat starts to notice my eyes have glazed over. And I'm nodding. So they start asking her more questions about crawfish.
I'm here for this.
Later that week, I'm at the office, and I get a text message from my wife. And there's just a picture of a package wrapped entirely in duct tape, labeled to me from China. My first thought is, oh God, they found out where I live. My second thought was, what's in the package? I asked her, I heard nothing back. For all I know, somebody sent me a bomb. My family's dead. I get home, they should have sent a bomb. Because what they sent was a 3-foot-long stuffed crawfish.
I did a toy or taxidermy?
I figured a taxidermy 3-foot-long crawfish. It was a toy. It was a stuffed toy. By the way, thanks for coming to my house, everybody who's ever been there, especially Fox and Moore, who waited for me to fall asleep one night and then placed his fursuit head this far from my face. Nothing gets your ass out of bed faster than opening your eyes and seeing that.
Oh my.
how about a crawfish?
No, that didn't get him out of bed that fast. His wife flipping it over got him out of bed that fast. Which, by the way, how did that work?
Levers.
And
You know, okay, I could see this story getting muddled and confused in the future. The story becoming, she flipped the bed over, hits the floor, and there's Foxamore's fursuit head staring at her.
You said it first.
It's like a scene out of The Godfather. Wakes up. The crawfish outside.
That's the sad thing is I'm like I have your phone number. You're gonna get random messages from me now, just out of nowhere, snip snip.
Snip, snip.
I got nothing.
What if from this somebody has a frog dad fursuit with a yarmulke?
Please and thank you.
Yes!
Oh, yes! And Foxamore's scarf.
We're gonna see that art tomorrow.
You know what the funny thing is though? Shellfish aren't kosher.
Yes, God.
Oh, no, they're not. Oh, wait, they're
Stop
not.
me.
Follow me on Twitter.
It has to do with fun for the first eating it.
Rabbi problem.
Rabbi. Here's the thing you gotta remember. This is Uncle Kage. Though one of the few people in the fandom who was really worried about the new fursuits coming out, because when you go to Anthrocon and you go into the parade, you are all over the Pittsburgh news, and all I want to see is like, and the fursuit parade for 2019, is that a crawfish with a yarmulke?
Shalom.
And I've ruined his life.
You have the best fursuit parade I've ever seen, and it's for one thing I saw last year. As I was walking past the fursuit parade, trying to find a way out of the convention center, they're going up an escalator, and I hear a scream. And I turned around, and I saw a head roll down the up escalator. Like a cycle for a moment. And it was glorious. I have sitting there. You were standing at the top of the escalator. I remember this because I remember seeing your face. That moment is burned in my memory. At night, I lay in bed if I've had a bad day, and I think of the horrible scream as the fursuit had tumbled down the escalator and Alkali going, and then I touch myself a little.
I need to call Foxamore because we're going to recreate that. In the middle of the night, he's going to open his eyes. There's going to be the Foxamore head in slow motion.
How wonderful would that be? A haunted house, but instead of like the mannequins and the things with chainsaws and stuff chasing, it's just like empty fursuits on strings. You open a door and it just flies right at you.
It's called Five Nights with Freddy's. His switchy screen yet?
No.
You should.
I wanted to because he squeals like a little girl.
Five Nights at Freddy's, that's the thing. Okay, somebody had said on the stream, they said, you don't play scary games. I said, no, I don't like scary games. Because I scream like a bitch. Like somebody said, so I said that. And of course, a bunch of you started sending me horror games to play. So thanks for that. Because I played Outlast last week. There's a scene in Outlast, you open a door, there's a music sting, and a body flies right the fuck at you guys. I jumped so hard, I knocked a bowl of plastic decorative skulls on the bookshelf 3 feet away. I did the look, I'm gonna see if I can recreate the look real fast.
Is that your own face?
Why did you have a bowl of decorative skulls?
Yeah, I wanted to know that too.
My mom was coming to this.
Quotation, that's it.
I was telling, I've said before, I don't like those. I don't like those games. I don't like haunted houses. It's weird. Because in real emergencies, like situations that should be terrifying, I don't freeze like that. I don't jump like that. I'm like, okay, what needs to be done now? But when I know it's safe and something like that happens, oh guys, I'm the biggest scaredy cat in the world. I mean, my wife found that out on our anniversary several years ago. When we went through a haunted house.
Oh, God. I love you, quotation.
I came back for you.
3 days later.
We are walking into a haunted house in New York City. And as we were walking into it, it's off of Times Square. As we were walking into it, I look at her and I go, honey, we've been married for 6 years, and I should tell you, I hate haunted houses. And she goes, oh, you never mentioned this before. Why we didn't? I said, because I'm okay with a lot of it, except for the chainsaw guy. You all know what I'm talking about, the chainsaw guy. The guy comes out the door, he runs the chainsaw right behind your ear, right? So we get halfway through the thing, and as we're going further and further along, I'm getting tenser and tenser because I know the chainsaw guy's coming, right? We walk into a room, the chainsaw guy comes out, he revs the chainsaw in my ear, I start walking a little faster. He gets a little closer and revs it, I walk a little faster, he gets a little closer and revs it, and I take off running. Here's what happened from my version of events. I took off running. My poor wife was unable to keep up, but as I crossed the next 3 rooms at blazing speed, I got to the end to safety and realized, oh no, she's not with me. And bravely, knowing the danger that awaited, I turned around and went back to save her, and I deserve commendations because I knew the danger was there. Right? Here's what happened from her version of events. The chainsaw guy revved his chainsaw. I grabbed her arm and started squeezing tightly while making tiny noises. He revved it again and I took off running, ripping her off of her feet. Then when she fell to the floor, I said, bye bitch, and let go. I got to the end of the haunted house, I realized I would be in trouble if I didn't go back. But it was okay, because 3 of the actors at the haunted house, while trying not to break character, were trying to help her to her feet. I went back, I got her, we exited the haunted house. Now, you think that alone is enough. It gets better. Because this particular haunted house was right off of Times Square. It was on a 4-story building. The haunted house was the entire 4th story of it. It let out on the 3rd story, and when you exit the haunted house, you exit directly into the little bar restaurant, because the 2nd story was a theater for off-Broadway plays. Yeah, they were doing Silence of the Lambs. But we walked into the bar and restaurant, and as we walk in, the bar erupts into cheers. And we look at the bar and we realize that behind the bar is a wall of closed-circuit televisions. Where they are showing the bar patrons what is happening in the haunted house. No less than 50 people watched me throw my wife to the ground and run. That is wonderful. It's snip, snip, the crawfish rabbi. There is one small caveat to that story. I said we were there for our anniversary, right? You're thinking, oh, you went on an anniversary trip. No. This was our actual wedding anniversary. Oh. The waitress came over and said, after berating me slightly, said, are we celebrating anything special tonight? My wife goes, yes, it's our wedding anniversary. And the waitress looks at her, looks at me, looks at her and goes, you fucking married him? How are you not divorced? And walked off.
Damn!
I love you, sweetie.
Quotation, I love you.
They're trying to take her.
How many anniversaries ago was this?
This was, what, 4 or 5 ago?
About 4.
Yeah.
Well, you've matured since then. You were younger. Now you're braver and more.
Yeah, now I know not to go back.
Yeah. But now you got a stick.
Don't worry about him running now.
secure.
The one thing
Don't
about my
underestimate
wife is
Badger.
for years she had thought that I like to sleep on the side of the bed I like to sleep on because I didn't like to sleep near the closet.
Okay.
Yeah, like I didn't want to sleep on the same side of the room as the closet for some reason. The real reason is my side of the bed is the furthest from the door and right beside the window leading out of the room. And finally, after years of marriage, I told her that the reason was anybody who breaks into the house, they've got to stop her first, and that gives me just enough time to get out of the window. The kids need one parent. I know she's brave enough, she'll try to help me, and then they're orphans.
Chivalry is dead.
It's Floral.
Now, hold
That was
on.
pretty dead.
Chivalry is not dead, and I learned that because of my current sleeping situation.
I don't know if the people want to hear about your sleeping situation.
Tell us!
I stand corrected.
You see, Kage, you have to remember, we're not the only ones who have been drinking today.
You shut your whore mouth.
I have 3 rooms in my house, and one of those rooms is my bedroom. Behind my bed used to be a closet that was totally pointless, so I knocked down that wall. It gave us more room, but it did one other thing. It empties the mail slot from the outside right into my bedroom. So for a very long time, I slept on that side of the bed because I work nights. Xander at the time was also working some weird hours, so we slept in. And the mailman would come in and usually wake us up, so I was closer to the noise. That wasn't until I angered Beardo the Magnificent. If you don't know who Beardo the Magnificent is, that is John the Human. He is furry adjacent. He helps me run First Squared. He is one of my best friends. And I apparently drunkenly called him throughout the night until he picked up the phone 4 or 5 times to tell him, "Is your refrigerator running? Then you should throw away your roast beef," and hung up. Well, he drove over to my house. He went into my garage, and he got all of my leftover firecrackers from the 4th of July. I will now tell you the remainder of the story from Xander's point of view. The room was deathly quiet. I was snoring softly. The mail slot opened. A strange hissing noise happened. The cat ran out of the room, but the door was closed, so she just went bam! I did not empty the mail slot the day before. Paper was just flowing into the room. Bam, 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 bam! I didn't move for a moment. Xander sitting straight up in the bed. Finally, in a soft voice, I said, "Jesus Christ, you're not allowed to have beans before bed." Now, I don't remember any of this, but I do have to ask one question. If that's not what happened, what the hell did Xander do with all my mail?
What did he do with all your mail?
He didn't want me to find all of his credit card bills. That's what happened.
Damn it!
Big news.
That's why you need a crawfish.
What was that, the theater song?
Before one of us accidentally spills something on that.
By the way, I would like to point out, it's been almost 14 minutes since I took this out of the refrigerator and it hasn't melted yet.
Jesus.
How the hell cold is that refrigerator?
As cold as our frozen hearts.
Okay, there's freezing and then there's cryogenic hell. I mean, I'm going to open the thing and there's going to be a woolly mammoth in there.
Oh my God, I want to drink them.
Yes!
Don't drink the woolly mammoth.
Why not?
Cough up a
They
hairball.
found them with blood.
Thank
still
you.
around
It's
here.
constantly on the cup.
That being said, Uncle Kage brings up a wonderful point. We are half an hour into this panel, and I want to remind you why we are doing this. This is a comedy better when I have a few, which is a charity panel, so we say the same thing.
Give me money!
We remind you, if you can give, give. This is a very worthy cause. If you had not had a chance to visit our charity this weekend, they are a no-kill, free spay and neutering shelter. What they do is they go out there, find the overpopulated cat and animal areas, and they humanely spay and neuter them and release them back into the wild to control the population.
Yes, you do. Would you take Alkali's hat and be good enough to pass it round?
Thank you. Nice catch.
This is called passing the hat.
Mine's conditional.
There is no conditional. Give us money or fuck off.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Jesus.
Now I'm curious. I am curious. What's the condition you would have posed?
Sing the Cthulhu song again and post a link on Twitter.
I'm sorry, what?
Sing the Cthulhu song again and post a link on Twitter.
Okay, well, I can't post a link on Twitter, but I can sing the song.
Okay, that works. Get the hack
I'm Yamaka.
I could dump this on your head.
That'll work.
Okay, you all know the words. You can join me. Need the beat.
Where's the tree?
Ya ya, Cthulhu, ya ya, Cthulhu, ya ya, Cthulhu and Yogg-Sothoth. Ya ya, Cthulhu, ya ya, Cthulhu, ya ya, Cthulhu and Yogg-Sothoth. And I love the tip, and I love the tip, and I love the tip and Yogg-Sothoth. And I love the tip, and I love the tip, and I love the tip and Yogg-Sothoth. Dig on, dig on, dig on, dig on, dig it off the quad, 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 dig on, dig. And Schubnigeroth. A lightning bolt is going to drop down from the ceiling and hit me in the dick for that, I'm just sure.
In the giggle
That
dick.
is insanely good aim, or you have very weird centers of gravity. That's not how
Or
they
Thor's a boil.
But we all know that human blood is ferromagnetic and can attract electricity.
Obviously, we all knew that.
Right?
Hey, why did my blood slide not work?
You see, he's already got the chairman fingers. He could be the chairman of a convention.
He is the chairman of the convention. Have you heard of Basement Cod?
Basement guy. Fuck you.
The thing is, I went to his house and I said, "Ooh, can I see the basement?" And he said, "No." I said, but, he said, "You don't want to go down there." He never explained why.
The basement is filled with booze and old beds.
Excuse me, I understand the booze, but what's the other one?
Old beds. The crawfish gets out a lot.
I will admit, it is nice having a friend of ours who is not a con chairman, because you get wonderful lines like this. Because the three of us have a chat, and I got to see Kage send out this message. I can't believe this is happening. God, I wish I could say something about it, but I'm chairman of Anthrocon. I'm like, this is awful. I really wish I could say something about it. I'm chairman of First Squared. An hour later he comes in, I'm not a chairman. And me and Guy are like, shit! And then we looked at his Twitter account and we both logged off.
That's not a joke either. I have been known in chats that just say, when they say, we can't say anything, we represent conventions. All caps, the next message they get from me. I don't have a con!
And then he very, very thoughtfully, makes it anonymous. An unnamed chairman of an unnamed furry convention in Pittsburgh was heard to say.
My favorite description that was anonymous was, I was talking to an anthropomorphic alcoholic lab coat one day. have no idea who you're talking about, Brucey.
Magical top-headed booze-generating fairy.
And that picture is still worth 1,000 words.
That picture's still in my den. Like that one that if you guys know IFC, after I dubbed this gentleman here the magical top-headed booze-generating fairy, an artist drew a picture of Alkali as a magical top-headed booze-generating fairy with a wand and fairy rings and a tutu and everything. And then it went into the IFC charity auction, and then the purchaser gifted it to me. And now it hangs in my law office.
It's at your law office?
Yep.
So do people ask?
Yes.
Nope. The best part of this is when people are like, what do your clients think when they find out that you do this stuff? I'm like, they don't give a shit. Because I'm good at what I do. Guys, I could walk into meetings in a Speedo wearing fairy wings myself, and they go like, so you think you can take care of this, right?
Artists!
That's what we call a companion piece.
See, I see it a little bit differently. I see the client coming in and sitting down and looking at the art and then turning and looking at him.
Hello.
Hello. And then it's, so you're going to be the person that's going to keep me out of jail.
I have not had a single client that I represent go to jail yet during the term of my representation of them.
My favorite line I've ever heard from him is that he had to tell a client this exact thing. Oh, you're going to jail. The question is for how long?
No. It wasn't even that exact thing. Because guys, like somebody's like, there's no way he talks like that with clients. I'm blunt. And I tell my clients that. I tell my clients, I go, look, you don't hire me to be fancy and nice. I'm not that type of lawyer. There's a guy in Philadelphia, he'll charge you $600 an hour to do that. I'm a brawler. I am the bare knuckle type of lawyer with people. So my clients get blunt and they know they're getting blunt with me. I did not say, oh, you're going to jail. And the question is how, I said, oh no. It was a client who said, so do you think that I'm going to go to jail? And I looked at him and I said, oh, you're fucked. The question is not, can I unfuck you? Because I cannot. You are well and truly fucked. The question is, for how long are you fucked?
And yet I still want the man as my lawyer.
Okay.
That's the best reason to have
I have always had admiration for the young man sitting to my left. But that admiration went up eightfold when he told me a story one day. Many of you remember my story about my friend Doug O. And the difficulty I had with collecting money from him. Well, I told the story to this man and he said, oh, I could have gotten it. Would you care to tell them a little anecdote you shared with me, which is still precious to me, about the collection you assisted with?
Are you talking about
They're getting really interesting with our donations. So allow me to give to you what the audience gave to me. Here's a finger. Oh, this is going to get awkward.
Drink the finger!
Anyway, Mr. Barrister. Anyway,
This is new.
how did you assist the constable that day?
When we send the sheriffs out, and a lot of lawyers don't do this, I do. If I win a judgment for a client and I'm sending the sheriff out to seize property to satisfy the judgment, I go with them because I like to kind of direct the sheriff on what to do while they're there. And I will preface this by saying, I'm not a complete bastard.
Yes, you are.
Like if I know that you don't have the ability to pay, we're not going to take everything you own, and I'll go to a client and I'll go, let's work with them. But there are a lot of people out there who try to hide money the second a judgment gets entered against them. And wait for it to expire in 5 years. So we go out, and there was a gentleman who had done exactly that. He had moved all of his non-exempt from sheriff's levy property to somewhere else, insisted he had no idea where it was, which is going to cost my client several $1,000s, what we call depositions in aid of execution, trying to locate where he had hidden all of his assets. So I'm standing there with the sheriff, with the sheriff's deputy, and there's something, when we find the property, we say we tag it, and that's the sheriff puts a little sticker on it that says this is now property of the sheriff's department subject to sale. So as we're sitting there, he goes, oh, I don't have anything except what you're seeing here. We know that's a lie. And he kind of smiling, and then his dog walks in the room. And I looked at him and I said, is that your dog? And he goes, yeah. I go, oh, okay. Sergeant, would you please tag the dog? I levied on his dog.
Oh my God.
You will be amazed at how fast the money shows up when you tell someone you're going to auction their dog at sheriff's. I had another one, it was a jeweler. The jeweler had taken all of his inventory and placed it on consignment somewhere, meaning it was not legally in his ownership anymore. Like he had redone all of the agreements with his suppliers so that it would be listed as a consignment agreement. That meant we couldn't tag it. So we go into his store, and he goes, well, it's all on consignment. I have the contracts here. I said, okay. Who owns the display cases? He goes, well, I do. I go, Sergeant, would you please tag the display cases? You can have as much merchandise as you want, but unless you pay me, you got nowhere to put it. You should have hired me for Doug O. I'm just telling you.
Where were you when I needed you?
Blissfully unaware.
Blissfully unaware.
This was several months before. This innocent young soul said the fateful words, I don't understand what this whole furry thing is, but it sounds harmless enough. If I was a furry, I guess I would be a badger. And what happened 24 hours later?
Onesie badger.
Actually, I was talking about that earlier today, and everybody in here has a story like that. I love it at convention, but I'm like, so what brought you into the furry fan? I'm like, I really enjoyed this Disney movie. This cartoon spoke to me. I read this book, or I played this game, and this character really spoke to me. I'm like, that really interests me. And then I found out it interested me more, and then I made my own persona, and it really speaks to me, and it's this wonderful thing. I'm like, that's great. And they're like, what about you? And I'm like, fucking Nazis, man.
I got the music, hang on.
No!
Yes!
So what do you guys think about reality? Oh, they've got some great panels. The new hotel is wonderful. A lot of Nazi propaganda. Are you? Damn it!
No!
Oh, no? Okay.
Would
no.
I do that? I would
Hey.
not. I would under no circumstances.
Under no circumstances.
One time I saw this car.
Okay, maybe we should sing the other verse, the one I like.
Oh, wait.
No, the one I like.
Oh, the one you like.
The one I like. I gotta find it. It goes like this. It's Deutsche Frauen, deutsche Treue, deutsche Wein und deutsche Song. Loosely translated into English, it means, let's all be friends, get drunk, and fuck. Really? I would live in that country. That is so... Okay, we got rockets to bombs, they got booze and fucking. It's just... Do it! Oh, hi, I'm sorry. the national anthem of the... Never mind.
If you don't know what that song is, please go to YouTube and look up Der Führer's Face.
You look up what?
Der Führer's Face. It's a Spike Jones song from the 1940s.
If you don't know it, it's amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing.
Says, wie ist der Master Race? Wie heil bright in the Führer's face. Not a love or leader, it's the greatest grace. So wie heil bright in the Führer's face. Play ball!
You gotta understand, in the 1940s, blowing the raspberry, that was like...
It was like saying fuck
yeah,
on
it
television.
was flipping the bird. So what he's saying is, when the Führer says, when Hitler says we are the master race, we heil.
Donald Duck?
Right in his
Donald
face.
Duck, they did do a version of it that was, if I remember correctly, Kage, correct me if I'm wrong, that was banned from television.
It was banned from
It was
television.
considered obscene.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it had the sound. How times have changed. If we could go back in time to the Censors Board of 1942 and show them South Park.
Oh my God!
I absolutely love that. I still remember to this day my father and mother sitting at the dinner table going, "My lord, a man's ass was on NYPD Boo last night." And then, just a few years ago, my father, "There was a penis on HBO."
I like the feeling better that it's like they weren't having a discussion. Like you're just sitting at home one night, you're watching a movie with your mate, you're having popcorn, the phone rings, it's your father, you pick it up. "Oh, hello, Dad. There was a penis on HBO." Click.
And how times have changed. There was a man's ass on NYPD Blue. A few years later, there was a penis on NBC. And now today, I turned on CNN and there was a dickhead in the White House. I'm sorry, I promised the organizers I wouldn't say things like that.
I didn't. You know what's great about Trump? He's the first furry president. Yeah, his persona is an orange jackass.
You want to know what's amazing? We can still say that and not be arrested.
For now.
For now.
Nobody tell Trump about John Adams, please. And I mean this very seriously. Back in 1798, John Adams did not like the fact that the press was criticizing the government of the United States and the Federalists while he was in the White House. So John Adams did the reasonable thing and completely outlawed criticizing the government, throwing people in jail for it. By the way, the Supreme Court didn't really have the power to overturn laws then, so it just stayed that fucking way until Congress decided not to re-up that law. People kept getting arrested. Please, for the love of God, no one tell the people in the White House there is a precedent for throwing journalists in jail. Look, I love my country. I would like to still have it in 2020.
Alright, we have 7 minutes left, and I would like to thank all of you. Usually for a panel like this, we like to give you the total. As of right now, you guys at this panel and this panel alone have raised $302 in subject.
And 3 fingers.
Hell yeah.
Hours of joy.
Peace among worlds, friend.
Have you guys ever like blown bubbles with cats?
Is he back in town?
God damn it.
I
I said bubbles and cats, with cats, not bubbles the cat. He's not allowed back in MFF. Why'd you get banned from MFF? I blew bubbles. What? Hi.
Why'd you get banned from MFF? He was a guest.
Oh, too soon.
No! No! There is no such thing about a topic you can't joke about. There is such a thing as a topic you shouldn't joke about.
Okay, he's got a point. He's got a point.
The best part of MFF for me last year was I went and this gentleman and myself were walking around the lobby late one evening. And I'm not going to tell you everything that went down. I am going to say this. When I got home, my wife said, "How was the convention?" I said, "Well, I drank out of a dish soap bottle, and then Alkali gave me a lap dance while people threw 20s at us."
In other words, the usual.
The fun thing is somebody, hey, that's a true story. We were walking around the lobby and somebody gave us, they had liquor in a Dawn detergent bottle. So we took drinks, and then somebody said, "If Alkali gives Boozy a lap dance, we'll donate to the charity." So that happened. Like a crowd of people throwing $20 bills at us while he's grinding on me. A, hello.
How did he not break your thigh?
B, we sort of forgot that we were at a place filled with artists. There's a picture out there of a badger in a suit doing this. As a top-headed ferret grinds on him and money floats from the ceiling. I saw that picture, I saved it, I made it the lock screen on my phone. I thought that was amusing until Judge Failing saw my phone.
What did the judge say, Mr. Barrister?
What the fuck?
And your response?
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
And?
No, that was the end of the conversation. He then went off to talk to someone else.
You didn't try an excuse such as "my children put that on"?
Yes, that's the wonderful thing you say to a fellow judge. My children put that on the phone. Oh, why are your children downloading pictures of ferrets grinding on badgers?
Because, Your Honor, they are furries.
Well then.
That's a drop down.
Gentlemen, it has been an absolute...
Sorry.
Tiny bubbles.
Bubbles!
Okay, we get the bubbles going. And the Lawrence Welk stuff, right? Good night, sleep tight, and pleasant dreams to you. Here's a wish and a prayer that every dream comes true. And yeah, good nos, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen.
Alright, Kage, how's this one? It's the one I think we found out all three of us know it.
What? Manuel Kent was a real pissant who was very rarely stable. I digger was a boozy beggar, could drink you under the table. David Hume could out-consume Oppenhauer and Hegel. And Wittgenstein was a very swine who was just as lost as Schlegel.
There's nothing nature couldn't teach about the rising of the Ritz.
Socrates himself was permanently pissed. John Stuart Mill, of his own free will, on half a bottle Shelley was particularly ill. Later they say could stick it away. Half a crate of whiskey every day. Aristotle was a plug in the bottle. Hobbes was Morgan's grand. And Rene Descartes was a drunken bot. I think therefore I am. Yes, Socrates himself is particularly missed. A lovely little thing about a bugger when he's pissed.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. This is
And this stuff is still not fucking
It's not
melted.
It's
still goddamn solid.
If you enjoyed this, every one of us is about to be on stage again for charity. Whose line is it anyway? We're going to reset this and get going. Thank you for being here.
Is it his line? Your line, sir?
That was fun.
Free candy, everybody.
Speaking of solid, it's not fucking melting. It's just no kind of. No!
You're adorable.
Yeah! Oh, next stage. Let's see what's Go ahead.
I'll give you the finger.
That is so sick.
Oh my God!
That is so beautiful.
That is amazing! It's a stretch rat shaped like alcohol.
Silver Gatoman, he bought me a coffee. Silver Gatoman, here is the song for thee. He likes to video all the panels at the cons. You should go and watch them whether they are short or long. Silver Gatoman, you video that's not a jibe. All of you go to his YouTube channel and like and subscribe.